So I've got, oh, as you can tell by the title and the description and everything, I've got quite a cool topic to talk about today. But I wanted to start things off um, with just an honourable mention to you guys, really. Um, my stuff, my content, my creations um, have been receiving such great support. I recently hit 2,000 views on my playerless 3-type 18 GT tree farm, which is amazing. I could never envision that happening. Um, and it's just an amazing thing to be part of. Such an achievement as that. Also, I recently hit 9,000 downloads on the Black Holes add-on, which is which is ever more mind blowing. Black Holes was literally just it started off as an afternoon thing. I said, oh, you know, I want to learn how to do add-ons, and what better way of doing that than doing something I really like, and it turned into something much bigger. So thank you so much for that, really. But speaking of add-ons and making things behind the scenes, um, there's another one that's out. Well, it's probably going to be releasing soon. So go and get it when it is out. Um, but it's inspired by ibxtoycat, more specifically this video by ibxtoycat. We talked about 19 features in Minecraft that don't really live up to their full potential. He made us some very interesting points, as he so often does, and I thought, I would try and modify them and make them work in Minecraft itself. And this is a really cool add-on. I think you'll really like this one. Now, there is a little bit of irony in the fact that this is the first update of useless to useful, and therefore some of the features aren't really that polished and don't have much use yet. So try and see it for what it's worth. I know it does seem a little bit weird that a lot of these features that I talk about are in such early stages that you may as well just not have had them modified in the first place. But I hope you can see their potential. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? How are you doing, everyone? Are you all right? I've been away for a while. I've been a bit demotivated. I'm finally back and ready to show you some things. So we're starting things off with the Wither Rose. Now, the Wither Rose isn't that bad. Okay, it doesn't do a lot, I guess, unless you're a technical player, in which case it's quite useful for sort of wither skeleton farms and things like that. But one of the points that Toycat made on his video was, what if you could use this to craft it into a special black dye, which could then be used on blocks to make it give you like a wither effect, for example, when you stand on it. And that's kind of what I did, but in a little bit of a different way to what he mentioned. I will stress, just while I'm getting things out of my inventory, I will stress that these features are highly inspired by ibxtoycat, heavily inspired by his video. Most of them are just his ideas, but they are implemented in the way that I envision. Okay, so that some of them aren't exactly what he mentioned. Some of them are, most of them are not. Alright, so first of all, you need to get your Wither Rose and chuck it in a furnace. And you may be able to see, I am using Dark UI, which has a little bit of a bug, where furnace arrows are quite difficult to watch the progress of. But you can see eventually that's going to create some new wither powder. Wither powder looks really cool. I'm really pleased with the textures. I feel like I did a really good job with the textures on this one, in this pack. I think it looks really Japper-like. Got a few green dots in there because of the stem that's been broken down thanks to the furnace. Really cool texture. But if you get out, alongside your wither powder, you get out any colour of carpet. It does not matter what the colour of the carpet is. I'm just going to go with white, and I have done that with my testing as well. But it really does work with any colour. And you just chuck it in the crafting grid. It is shapeless, so it doesn't matter where you put the carpet, it doesn't matter where you put the wither powder, as long as they're in the crafting grid, it will give you this new block, a cursed carpet. Now, this is pretty much what ibxtoycat said. I'm not going to be doing this for every single dyeable block, because that is really just time consuming and boring, frankly. But I did it with the carpet, and as you can see, when it gets placed down, it looks pretty much identical to the black carpet. Now, there is a little bit of a bug, which frustrates me as well. As you can see, it kind of cuts off that pixel there. It's stretched. I think I said it. Yeah, so it's stretched half a pixel in the north direction, which is over there, and a full pixel in the west direction. It's actually 15 pixels wide, which is really annoying. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the problem, but I really don't know what it is. But I was so desperate to get it out that I just kind of didn't bother too much. But when you stand on this cursed carpet, you'll get the wither effect. There's not much more to be said, really. This wither effect is really, really strong and really, really fast. If I just turn myself into survival mode and make sure I set my spawn point here, and you will also have a fine excuse to see a new pack that was added to Void's Tweaks really recently. I'll probably turn up my volume for this bit because it's super, super funny. If I stand on this, you can see it goes by extremely quickly. And then I die. This effect lasts for a second after you stand off the carpet, which means it can be used for some really, really discreet traps. Because if you sort of blend this in with black carpet, assuming that weird pixel bug gets fixed in the future, you can barely notice it's there. I mean, even with the pixel bug, it's pretty difficult to tell, right? Someone just stands over this and like, oh, that particular carpet gives you the wither effect. It's a super fun feature. I love it a lot. I think you can make some really interesting things out of that. And I also intend to expand on this particular feature in the future as well. Moving on to the Glistering Melons, which are... I mean, I was unsure about modifying Glistering Melons to start with because, well, they already have quite a good use. They make potions. Okay, but that is the only one. You can't do anything else with them. Like, just break that furnace. It doesn't need to be continuing to smelt. Unfortunately, Glistering Melons are one of those items that are hard-coded. Alright, so you have a few items in the vanilla template folders that are there, and mainly consist of like food types and stuff like that. But Glistering Melons are not there, which means they are hard-coded. So you can't change anything about them. I tried, trust me, I tried to make them edible, but it's just not possible with the tools that are given. So what I did instead are Glistering Melon blocks. Now, you can place these Glistering Melon blocks, and they kind of don't do anything. This is one of those features that is definitely going to be expanded upon in the future. They kind of don't do anything. They're really cool. I mean, the texture is really, really nice. I'd use the same colour palettes, gold blocks, I think, and just recoloured them. They look really cool. Eventually, they'll grow from special Glistering Melon stems, but not quite yet. You have to be careful with these because Silk Touch, I don't think, works with these. So instead, whenever you break them with whatever tool you break them with, they'll drop 3 to 7 melons, Glistering Melon slices. The same as the regular melon does with regular melon slices. And because they're crafted with 9 Glistering Melons, as I showed you, like that, then it's not a great thing to place down unless you intend for it to be there. This is going to be modified in the future, as you can probably tell. That's kind of just it. Now moving on once again, and this is my favourite feature in the whole add-on. Now, bats, okay? Now I'm well aware that Mojang intend for bats to be just an ambient feature. They're not intended to do anything. All they're meant to do is to add a bit of atmosphere into the world of Minecraft. So if I just create a little compartment here, you can see pretty much how I modified these. So if I place a bat in here, so it can't really escape. Oh. they're so erratic and difficult to do anything with. Normally when you kill them, nothing happens. Okay, they don't drop XP. They don't drop anything. They just, you know, they just pass away. So I thought, what better opportunity than to make something happen with them. So when you kill them now, they do drop XP, but they also drop bat wings, as you can see in my inventory. And this is something that ibxtoycat mentioned as well, but it's has been a thing that I've had in my mind for years. Even I've wanted these to be in the game. Now bat wings don't do anything on their own, again, rather ironically, but what they do is if you get out some string, then you can put 2 bat wings in your crafting grid and put string in the middle. It has to be in that exact shape. Then you get some bat elytra, and you can wear this bat elytra on your back, and as you can see, I get a slow falling status effect, which means I can just sort of jump around the world, you know, jump over really big gaps, dive down mountains without taking any damage whatsoever. They're not a substitute for elytra, obviously, because you can't glide with them. It's impossible for me to add that behaviour, unfortunately. I did try. Yeah, they just give you slow falling. This would be groundbreaking, and would in fact replace slow falling potions entirely if there weren't some drawback. So what I did was I made these bat elytra extremely fragile. So if you take any form of damage whatsoever, and that includes 2 hits from a zombie, for example, then they will break 100% of the time. It doesn't take much for them to break forever, and they're currently not repairable, and they will never be enchantable. I may choose to make them repairable with bat wings at some point, but not quite yet. They won't ever be enchantable, I'm afraid. If I just demonstrate this here again, I'll turn myself into survival mode, and I'll spawn a zombie, for example. Then you can see, let me just box myself in. You can see how already it's taken a huge amount of damage. So if I break myself out again and get hit again, then I think if I've done this right anyway, yeah, bat wings are completely gone. Bat elytra is completely gone. So you have to make sure that you don't take any damage whatsoever when you're wearing this, because otherwise, you know, it will be destroyed really, really quickly, and you won't be able to have your wonderful slow falling effect. Alright, moving on, once again, I'm going to be a bit quicker, actually, talking through these, because it's already going to be quite a long video, I reckon. Cookies. I didn't change much about cookies, because there kind of isn't anything I wanted to do with them. Now, one thing which ibxtoycat did mention is maybe making them a bit more balanced, because cocoa beans don't really do a lot. You know, you create a farm to get cocoa beans, and then the only thing you'd be able to use their cocoa beans for is to create cookies, the only purpose of which is, you know, to kill parrots. You know, what's going on there, Mojang? What are you trying to hint at? That seems like a really weird feature to me. So I just made them more balanced. I made them restore, well, 8 hunger points, 4 hunger shanks in total. Yeah, and change their saturation modifier to normal, so they have slightly more saturation now. I haven't changed this in my resource pack, mind you, so they'll still show you know, one hunger shank there. But you get the point. There isn't much I could do with these. ibxtoycat did mention changing stack size. Maybe they stack to 128. But yeah, I couldn't do that, unfortunately. Stack size is maxed out at 64. I did try to make them stack to 128. I did change that value in their JSON. But yeah, what happened was I took it out of the inventory, and instead of showing 64 in the bottom right hand corner of the item, it showed 99 plus. So I was like, okay, that's whatever, that's intentional. Then I put them in my hotbar, and I exited my inventory to see what happened, and they were gone from my hotbar. And then I pressed E to try and open my inventory. I tested on Windows 10. and my inventory was completely frozen. I had to relog. In fact, all interfaces were completely frozen. It's not a pleasant thing to have to go through, really. It really wasn't worth it, so I just reset them back to normal. Again, cookies may have some functionality in the future. I love the idea of making them being able to be stored in glass jars. You'd be able to take them out when you want to, so it's sort of a bit like a cake in the sense that you have a block which acts as a food source. That could be pretty cool, but yeah, I don't know yet whether that's going to make it in. Now, once again, another pretty minor change, but a pretty cool one nevertheless. Glowberries. Glowberries don't do a lot either. They don't restore a lot of hunger whatsoever. They only restore 1 hunger shank or 2 hunger points in total, and they have a saturation modifier of low. So even though they're really good food sources in caves because they're so abundant in lush caves, if you need food, then you're starving to death, and just grabbing some glowberries isn't too much of a grind. But there needs to be something else, and this is as well something that Toycat mentioned. So if you eat them, you have a 30% chance of getting night vision. And all the times I've tested this, I got quite unlucky. As you can see, I've got night vision for 30 seconds before it runs out. It's only 30 seconds, so it's not a substitute for night vision potions, but it just gives you a quick sort of boost if you want to be able to look around caves and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. Glowberries giving you night vision. Alright, the last thing that I added in this update, tweaked rather, was cocoa beans. And I mentioned cocoa beans in response to cookies. But here, I kind of open this up a little bit more to you guys. And I'll talk about why. If you grab some wheat, okay, and you grab some cocoa beans, then if you make a typical bread crafting recipe like that, and then you put some cocoa beans underneath it, and this can be in the upper half of the crafting table as well, it doesn't matter. Eventually I might make it so you can swap that around to the top as well. For the moment you do that, then you get some chocolate bread. So if I just get all of that chocolate bread out, mass craft it like that, as you can see, then I have chocolate bread in my inventory, and chocolate bread is extremely nutritious. It restores 3.5 hunger shanks, or 7 hunger points in total, and has quite a large saturation modifier too. So it's well worth eating, and really gives you use to cocoa beans. But here's where I'm opening it up to you guys, right? This is only one feature that I've added for the cocoa beans, and cocoa beans, chocolate, there's so much more I could be doing with them. And that's exactly why I didn't do anything more with them. Let me know down in the comments, or in the comments of the MZPDL post, which is going to be coming soon, perhaps. Or DM me on Discord. My username will be up on screen now. DM me ideas you have. What chocolate-related food types do you want added to the game? And I'll do it. I'll do it for you. If you have a good suggestion, I'll do it for you. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. So yeah, there isn't much more I can say. The installation instructions, if you want to get this pack for yourself, the instructions on how to do so will be on the MCPDL post. I won't explain them in this video because it's kind of difficult to demonstrate, quite frankly. But go and check the MCPDL post. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and the installation instructions will be there. So check that out. And also, I have to mention this in response to the black holes thing. If you want to make a video or anything else on this add-on, an article or whatever, I don't care, under the condition that you ask me for permission. Okay, there are a lot of people in response to my black holes add-on who really miscredited, who took it upon themselves to make a video and just didn't give me adequate credit, which I take as a compliment, because they wouldn't make a video on my add-on if they didn't think it was good enough to do so. But I just want you I want you to take that into consideration. All right, spent a lot of work doing this. 25 iterations of the pack it took for me to finally get this out. So please just be courteous, right? Just credit me. Ask me for permission on Discord or in the comments or in the NZPDL comments. I'll get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. That's basically it. I really hope you enjoy this add-on as much as I do. I have so many good ideas for what I want to do for version 1.1, and possibly even versions in the future, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, etc, etc, etc. The only disappointing thing about versions, and actually I'll mention this before I forget, black holes probably won't be getting another update, just because I don't really know what I want to do with it thus far. I've kind of, in 1.1, I kind of did everything I wanted to do with it, quite honestly. I might be able to, once I do some more research on add-ons and find out more for myself and have more experience, then I might go back and revisit some concepts, maybe make them cleaner, maybe add some new things such as, particular wormholes that only link to others with certain names or whatever. There are so many different things I could do with more experience, but for the moment, I've done everything I want to do with it, so I'm going to put it to the side, let you enjoy it for the time being, and maybe come back to it in a while. That's really all I wanted to cover in this video. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you so much for being patient. Thank you so much for the support on all of my media, not just the videos that you watch. That does mean a huge amount to me too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.